So, it's unfair sometimes to compare games like Half-Life 2 and Burnout, just because they're entirely different. So, to be fair, I'm going to break it down into 4 categories. There's probably some blatantly obvious category I'm forgetting, but I don't remember it right now. So, alright. Let's see. First we'll do racing. I love racing games because I'm good at them, they're intense, they're fast-paced, they're never really boring, they just get a little repetitive. So, my 5th favorite racing game is Crash Team Racing. This is also on Serious God's list. This game is awesome. It's just, I mean, you have to do it 4-player split screen. Single player, not quite the same. Other than that, it's just awesome. It's like Mario Kart, except Sony sort of stole it. Sony's good at doing that. They just steal stuff. But, Crash Team Racing is just a great game. It's always fun. It gets a little frustrating sometimes because it happens to have the worst level in any racing game ever created. It's like, what is it, Cortex's Castle. Or Cortex Castle. That map sucks. But other than that, it's really cool. So, after that is, do I even have it here somewhere? Where is it? Here it is. MotorStorm Pacific Rift. Now, as frustrating as MotorStorm games are, well, that's a problem with all racing games. If you've ever played any racing game, you know how frustrating they are. Because the developers are stupid, to put it bluntly. They don't realize when something becomes not possible. In this game, I mean, I haven't given up on it yet, but it's getting pretty damn challenging to beat some of these races. It's ridiculous. MotorStorm 1, forget it. Not possible. Nope, done. Actually, I think, yeah, I got my data wiped and I just gave up because it was too much to go back and do again. But it's pretty frustrating. Online is also frustrating because of the lag. How is there lag in a racing game? Warhawk, 32 players. Perfect. Resistance, 60 players. Perfect. And then 12 racers, lag. Doesn't make any sense. Maybe it's the really good graphics. I don't know. But, other than that, really cool game. There's only racing mode is really elimination or race. But other than that, pretty awesome. Next is Burnout 5, which I mentioned earlier. Don't have the case with me right now, but the racing mode is just so intense, so perfect. That's one of the best racing modes. I mean, Burnout 3 beats it only because they got crash mode. But anyway, so how it works is like if you get a takedown and you launch your opponent into a certain area, it unlocks a shortcut. And then when you do that map again, you know, you've got a shortcut there. And there were so many different routes you could take, and every single race was a different story. Actually, same thing for MotorStorm. I didn't mention that. There's tons of different routes you can take, and it looks like you're just driving through the jungle. You don't even know where to go. But back to Burnout 5, I just loved the racing mode in that game. The graphics were amazing. They still are pretty impressive. But that was just a great game. After that, don't have a case for this one because it's downloadable, but Wipeout HD. It's the first time I played a Wipeout game, but I just love futuristic racers. I started with Fatal Inertia, which just happens to be a lot worse than Wipeout HD. I had no idea Wipeout was so much better, despite being a lot less, price-wise. So in Wipeout, there's only 8 tracks. You can play them backwards if you want, and I think there's 8 different racing classes, car classes, I mean, and you just unlock different skins. So, you know, only 8 cars, only 16 tracks if you count the reversibles, and only like 3 game modes. It sounds disappointing, but it's got tons of weapons, and I love battle racing games. Just like Crash Team Racing, except this is a bit of a step up from that. You know, you've got rockets, you've got autopilot, you've got one of the coolest weapons ever, which is Quake. The whole track just like ripples and hits everyone. It goes around for a whole lap, so if you're stupid and you stay in one spot, you can hit yourself. I've done it just because I was curious. But, online, again, laggy. I'm sorry, racing games, but you have no excuse for the lag. That just doesn't make any sense. And on a PS3, too, and PS3 doesn't have too much lag as far as other games go, but racing games manage to pull it off. So, Wipeout HD is a great game, and the best part, Zone Mode. Zone Mode is awesome. Basically, you put on your custom soundtrack, and then the whole track becomes like, there's 2 different like colors in each theme. It could be like red and orange, or pink and white, or black and white, or silver and green. And you keep going through these zones, you know, the car's just cruising along, you don't even have to accelerate, just going at 1 speed, just you on the track. Then you get to the next zone, a little bit faster after that. And when you get up to zone 75, let me tell you, that is not easy. First of all, because the zone is so spectacular looking. It's all black and white and shimmery and gleaming. And then meanwhile, you've got awesome music booming in the background, whatever music you want, and the track becomes an equalizer. There were so many epilepsy reports. And the best part is, this is the toned down Zone mode. It was supposed to be a lot more intense and flashy looking, and they toned it down, and there's still epilepsy reports. They toned it down because they couldn't pass the epilepsy test, which is probably a bad thing. And still, they're not passing the epilepsy test since there are kids out there having seizure. Seizure? One seizure. Just one. Seizures. Plural. Anyway. So yeah, Zone mode was really cool, and there was this one trophy, holy crap, it was the hardest trophy I've ever earned. It was Zone Zeus. Well, there were three. There was get to Zone 20 without taking damage, which at first was a real challenge, but after that I got to like Zone 40 without taking damage. I don't know how, looking back on it, I've gone back to the game, not possible. So anyway, I got that trophy, and then after that was get to Zone 50 using only air brakes. When I read that the first time, I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Air brakes, that's like how you like glide around curves and stuff. I managed to do that too, and then Zone 75, just get to it, and then you get Zone Zeus. And like, I remember when the first time I was playing this game, getting to Zone 30 was a victory for me. And then 75, it's like, if you blink, you've already gone through half the track. It was just going so fast, you're ricocheting off the walls, but I did it. I got to 76. And on day one, I think I came in like first in the world. Check back, oh, looks like you're in 2000th. So, I don't know, I thought I was good, but there's always someone better. That's a problem with online games. You think you're good? No. There is always someone better. Let's see. What else? Oh yeah, Burnout 3. Burnout 3 with the crash mode. Already went over this. So, Burnout 3 is an awesome game. Top 5 campaign games I've ever played. Alright, number 5 is Katamari Damacy. Like I said, because it's awesome. It's addicting. It's amazing. Ratchet & Clank 3, Up Your Arsenal. This campaign, like I said, great storyline, tons of guns, tons of crazy upgrades and stuff. Ratchet & Clank 5 beats it by a tiny bit. The weapons weren't as good, the storyline wasn't as good, but there were so many puzzles and so much creativity that 5 was like just a tiny, tiny bit better. And it used 6 axes, which is fun. After that is, do I even have it with me? Nope. Okay, well, Rogue Galaxy for the PS2. Rogue Galaxy was by Level 5, which is a pretty good company. Reminded me of Kingdom Hearts, but like more serious. I mean, if you're playing Kingdom Hearts, gameplay is really fun and everything. Boss fights are amazing, but I just can't get over the Disney characters. It's Goofy. I'm like, Goofy, you go die over there and let me play my game, you know. And then I'm going to like the Alice in Wonderland world, and I just can't take it seriously. I mean, yeah, I know I've got a lot of cartoony, childish games in here, but I don't like Disney. That's a different story. Now, anyway, you're just going through all these various worlds as back to Rogue Galaxy, and you have tons of different abilities that you unlock by finding items and stuff. You've always got your squad with you. The boss fights were great, and this game had one of the coolest storylines ever until the end of Chapter 9. It was like, if they stopped the game there, it would have been so amazing. It had one of the coolest enemies ever, too. Actually, I'd say this is my favorite video game villain ever. Seed. He was like, the skin was like half pure white, half black, and he had a sword that was the same way, but like flipped. And he just talked in this really creepy, monotonous voice, and he was like, I'm going to kill you. And it was really creepy, and he was like so evil and so awesome. And he was just such a cool character. And then Chapter 10 comes along, and you're just doing these stupid little side missions. It was like, didn't even make sense. The final boss in that game, holy crap. The final boss was like, it was ridiculous. There were 11 stages. Each stage can take you like 5 to 10 minutes. That's a long time. And the best part is when you fail, back to square one. I think it took me 2, maybe 3 tries. Man, was I frustrated. Going back, I did it recently, and it was like not nearly as hard as I thought it was, but at the time it was a real challenge. So my next favorite campaign game is Half-Life 2, which I already talked about. Half-Life 2 is the best campaign ever by such a long shot. And I'm running out of time here again. I don't know how I keep doing this. It doesn't feel like I'm really ranting that much, but so I'll continue this in the next video.